Good morning. It is Thursday and we are waiting for a shuttle that's going to take us to the Ark Encounter. For those of you that don't know, the Ark Encounter is a recreation of the Ark that God told Noah to make, that we see the account in Genesis. And this organization, which is called Answers in Genesis, recreated the Ark to be the same dimensions as what God gave to Noah to build the Ark. And it is huge. And then they have kind of turned it into a museum on the inside. So I hear. Anyway, this is all of our first time coming. Super excited. This is a really, really cool opportunity. So we're just gonna chug along and see what happens. So the idea behind these small crates, there are rows and rows and rows of them, is that this is where they would have kept all of the small animals, like the rats and the snakes and the mice and rabbits and things like that. Okay, no joke, we just finished the ground floor and I'm already amazed. This is incredible. This is really thought-provoking. Here on this wall, it is showing God gave man the ability to create, the ability to produce, and after Adam and Eve sinned, that brought sin into the world, corruption, ruining that perfect thing that God had made, and then in just about 1,600 years, it was to the point where the Lord had to destroy his creation because of the mass amounts of sin that had come in, the twisted perversion and all of that. And so this is talking about the ability that God had given them, and then they took it and warped it. And it's this kind of incredible charge for those of us in this day and age, with our abilities, with our talents, with our ability to create. What are we creating? And that is such an important concept, I think, for the entirety of the Christian world to really be able to grasp and understand. interesting. This whole section here is talking about Noah and his family being equipped to accomplish the task that God had laid out for them. And there's not tons said in the Bible about it, so they very bluntly state that there's a lot of perhaps elaboration going on, but they have verses of the things that we do know. And essentially, God gave Noah a job and the ability to do it, which, even though the Ark account in the Bible took place so long ago, that's something that we can apply to our lives. That when God gives us a job, He's also going to give us the ability, the resources, the time, the people that we need to accomplish it. Going back to the creativity thing that we were talking about earlier, God has given us abilities and creativity. It's our job to harness it and push it in the direction that He wants. And with that, He's going to equip us to do something way bigger than we ever could have imagined if we're willing to follow His plan. This is highly fascinating. So they have a whole section here talking about children's books, children's literature, Christian children's literature, and how it's affecting the minds of kids. So here we have a whole bunch of different versions of Noah's Ark in children book form. And then down here it talks about the danger of the misrepresentation. Noah's Ark is very often represented as something cute and light and fun, with animals in a boat and in a family. It's always something sweet. But in reality, when we look at the biblical account of the Ark and the flood, it's judgment, and it's a picture of salvation and God's redemption from judgment, which in so many kids' books is completely lost. And this is such a challenge to modern day writers of children's literature. If we are going to do something to influence the minds and hearts of children, then it needs to be based on the Bible. It needs to be based on truth that kids can grow up understanding the gravity of the Bible. It's not just something sweet and cute. It's something massively important and impactful that can be brought to a child's level that they may be able to understand it, but not to change the story or to misinterpret the whole meaning of what happened. This right here is a highlight for me as a Christian children's author. This is really, really good.
Of course, they like a little bit of fruit too.
Okay, so we found an iguana, which, for those of you guys that are following along the process of this book, spoiler alert, you're going to see an iguana. So I was pretty tickled to find this guy. What's his name?
This is Samson.
Samson, that's a good name. Very much. We've bonded and are officially friends now. Thank you very much. Well, if I may say, if that's what it was like to live on the Ark, sign me up, man. I'm absolutely sold. They had a hammock on the ark. Clearly, we're gonna take this one as truth, and could have gone along quite nicely. Also, can I just say that there may have been some Mongolian nomad influence in this? Just potentially. So this is supposed to be oh, that's an H. There we go. So this is supposed to be Ham's quarters. I would just boot him out and take up residence. Look at that. That's so cool. Oscar, ¿sí?
Oscar, sí, así es, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
Aquí estoy esclavo del arca.
Qué bueno. Mira,
Sí.
¿Eres un cristiano?
Sí.
Sí, ok.
Sí.
Bueno, yo también.
Ok.
Tengo eso en español, es mi historia espirituales.
Oh,
Sí.
ya.
En
Ok.
verdad, el español es no perfecto.
Ok,
Sí,
pero te
pero
puedo ayudar,
por
quizá,
favor.
lo voy a leer, ¿tienes un correo aquí?
No
Regálame tu correo y te lo puedo leer, lo puedo corregir.
Oh my goodness, guys, look at this. It's fried chicken. We are in Kentucky. That automatically makes it Kentucky Fried Chicken. I've been talking for weeks that I wanted that while we were there, and look at that, mission accomplished. All right, so we have finished in the Ark, and that was absolutely incredible. Becky, what were some of your takeaways?
I would say first just getting to see the proportions of everything. It was just so much different than I had imagined.
Massive.
And it was just good to see, like, it's not just, oh, one of those Bible stories, but like, wow, this actually happened. And then the faith of Noah in that big venture. God said, do this and do it this big, and he said, okay, I'll do that, even though it took so long.
Yeah, and the continuance of, like, okay, we're still building, but we're going to finish.
Faith and faithfulness.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that really stuck out to me too, of like, God told him to do it, he did it, and God enabled him all the way through, to the point of surviving this massive flood, and now centuries later, we are here talking about, look at that, the faith and faithfulness of Noah. Love that. This has been a very impactful and thought-provoking day. I think probably for the whole group, all of us are just kind of like, oh my goodness, this is incredible.